First of all, can you give our audience a sense of the scope of the humanitarian crisis unfolding and also the life of a refugee, which to many of our average viewers can be difficult to imagine?
It is difficult to imagine even for the people who are right now refugees. So many told me, we have never expected that we need to leave our home because there are bombs and grenades and other things. It is terrible to be a refugee, to lose everything. Then you have to flee. Then you have probably have your loved ones. You have to leave them behind. Right now, the situation is that 3.2 million refugees are outside of Ukraine, and there are another 2 million people who fled inside the country, so are internally displaced persons. And this in only 3 weeks. So the conflict started to this day 3 weeks ago, and we have already about 5 million people who had to flee their homes.
Wow, that is a lot. Considering the population of Ukraine.
Yes, so 1 out of 8 Ukrainians is now a displaced person in the country or outside of the country. And we are afraid that the figure is still rising. Not that much anymore, like in the first 2 weeks, but day by day, it's another 150,000 people who are fleeing Ukraine. Our estimate was up to 4 million, and I'm afraid this is a very plausible figure.
In the Polish border town of Medyka, you said you met one of the youngest refugees who is, this pains me to say this, who is only 2 months old. His name is Andrii. Can you tell us a bit about his story?
Yes, I met Andrii 2 weeks ago with his aunt and his mother, and they had to flee when he was only 6 weeks old, actually, really a tiny baby, who of course have no idea what this means to be a refugee. And the father had to stay behind in Kharkiv, in the city. The baby is now indeed in Poland, is safe with his mother and his aunt. But of course, the mother and the aunt, they are desperate because the little baby was a sign of hope, and now it's also a symbol of being a refugee, and they wishing nothing more than just that they can just return in a safe country.
Is there, a secure line of communication with the father back home? Is there any word on when the son, the kid, and the father can meet again?
Well, there is a kind of communication because they are using internet, of course, sending photos, sending videos, or doing video calls or something like that. But no one really knows at what point the refugees can go home. This is, by the way, one of the 2 sentences I've heard every day on the border. It was really the question, what do you think, when can we go home? We cannot answer this question. We wish that the refugees can go home very soon. I wouldn't mind if I would be unemployed, but we just can't answer this question. The other sentence I've heard most, by the way, was from the children asking me very often, or telling me very often, I miss Daddy so much.